This item needs a buff, dude. This item doesn't need a nerf. What the hell? Full heal was already bad. Now it's worse. Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise now all evolve at level 7. Now this is honestly not as big a deal as everyone's going to think it is. Pick number 1 is Venusaur. Now this Pokemon, with these changes, obviously this is going to have to get tested, but you can see on all these builds, it's EXP Share Focus Band, EXP Share Focus Band. Remember, the most important thing about when there's a patch is think about the Pokemon that didn't get touched. So this sneaky little snake, Inteleon, this Pokemon did not get touched. He is going to rain havoc. We need to be careful against our Inteleon matchup. But this is the Pokemon right here, Umbreon. Guys, we have got huge changes to Pokemon Unite. I'm going to detail through these, and I'm also going to give you my recommended builds at the end of the video, so make sure you stay around for that, about what's going to be good in this new patch. So reading them off, first one, we've got Mewtwo X. The following stats have been adjusted. His attack has been lowered, and Psy Strike, the amount of damage is less. This is honestly, this needed to happen. Psy Strike was just a little bit too strong, and I'm glad that they've lowered the damage because this just makes him a little bit less impactful. Personally, I didn't think Mewtwo X was he wasn't broken, but he was absolutely the strongest Pokemon in the game, so I've done a slight nerf. I think this puts Mewtwo X in a fairly decent spot. Eldegoss Pollen Pup, this is super surprising to me. They haven't touched Eldegoss in a while. I've been saying, guys, for ages, this Pokemon is fantastic. I think it's the best supporter in the game, and now we're seeing a bit of a decrease to this move. The HP that you're going to be healing is a little lowered. So unfortunately, this is the case. Zacian, Sacred Sword, the effects is lowered. This is honestly just really good. It was really needed, and also the damage dealt for both the normal version and the plus version is lowered. So this is a very, very good update for Zacian. This Pokemon, in my opinion, especially the Sacred Sword build, was just a little bit too strong. So it's good that they've just fine-tuned that. Slowbro Amnesia has been weakened a little bit, and same as Amnesia Plus, so it just means that you're not going to be as bulky on the defensive side. This sucks a little bit, but honestly, not too much. Charizard, Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise now all evolve at level 7. Now this is honestly not as big a deal as everyone's going to think it is. What this is probably going to mean is that the stats that you would have at level 9 for that Pokemon is still the same, but at level 7 you're going to be stronger than what you were before, and you still get that Unite move at level 9. So other than looking a little bit better when you're level 7, it's probably just a big stat increase for level 7 and level 8 for that particular Pokemon. So it's honestly an absolutely nice adjustment, because the fundamental flaw I said with Blastoise and the fundamental flaw I said with Charizard and Venusaur is that they power spike just too late. Level 9 was a little bit too late to hit that big power spike it needed. So level 7, this may change things. Charizard, unfortunately, with the Unite move, I still think is fundamentally, it's going to be weak. This is a phenomenal buff for Venusaur. Venusaur, in my opinion, was already in a very strong position. I love using Venusaur. We've seen the top players use Venusaur at a very, very good level. So this is super exciting. Venusaur, in my opinion, absolutely top pick for attacker right now. And Blastoise, I think this is great. Mimikyu, the user effects is strengthened. That's cool. Play Rough has also got increased damage, and with Play Rough Plus, and the Trick Room has got, you know, the cooldown reduced, and you can move around a little bit better within the Trick Room. That's kind of cool. Talonflame as our speedster. This is definitely gonna sneak up on a couple of people. Okay, I've been saying Talonflame's a little bit throw, but Talonflame with the Aerial Ace Brave Bird build is very dive and it's very scary. So they've increased his attack, right? Just overall across the board. That's scary thing number 1, because he's already quite strong early in my opinion. Thing number 2 is Aerial Ace has got increased damage to the opponent. Now the combo you can do with the Aerial Ace and the Brave Bird and the Aerial Ace and the Boosted and the Aerial Ace could be very, very, very scary for some people. So be mindful, don't sleep on Talonflame. I don't think he's definitely up there though. Draining Kiss, guys, it's still not the better move. I don't care how much they buff it. The AoE healing of Moonlight is just a little bit too good in my opinion. Chandelure's got some pretty nice changes here. Chandelure, honestly, just quietly, Chandelure is going to be a problem. if you were very good at Chandelure and now you've been doing well with it, you're going to be in a fantastic spot. This Pokemon's been slept on. It's got a low pick rate. I didn't actually think Chandelure was all too weak, but Poltergeist with the reduced cooldown, with the strengthen of the effects on other Pokemon, don't sleep on Chandelure. Be mindful of this Pokemon. This could come and really hurt us. Glaceon with an attack speed increase on Ice Shard. Glaceon, yeah, I think it just gets outclassed a little bit here still personally. The attack speed's kind of, frustrating, but I think the meta shifted a little bit where these attack speed Pokemon with low mobility, they're definitely struggling, right? And that's because of Mewtwo X and Zacian. Battle item changes. That's actually really cool. Okay, eject button. Cooldown increased. Okay, full heal, cooldown lengthened. Really? This item needs a buff, dude. This item doesn't need a nerf. What the hell? Full heal was already bad. Now it's worse. The problem with full heal is it's a necessity on some of your Pokemon though. That's really frustrating. I hope it's not too big. Slow Smoke cooldown decrease. So Slow Smoke got a buff with the cooldown. Cool. Golgetter has strengthened effects, whatever that means. The Slick Spoon. Now I know Slick Spoon has gone from 20% to 17%. It's a little bit, but I don't think it's as noticeable as it's going to be. Focus Band, instead of healing 14% of those ticks, is going to be healing 12%. So it's a bit of a nerf for the Focus Band, but that's okay. Leftovers strengthened. Drain Crown strengthened. Do I think these two items are viable? Maybe. Possibly. Just maybe. We don't know. Okay, so that's our patch notes, right? That's honestly super exciting. It's about time, right? It's been a month. We need a patch sooner. Pokemon Unite, we need more patches, just little changes, bits and pieces here and there. Keep the game exciting. I'm super excited to play now, and I'm sure a lot of other people are super excited to play. We need these regular 2-3 week just minor changes to the game, having tweak, look at what's overpowered, look what's winning, just do little tweaks here and there, and that's going to keep this game alive and thriving well. Now let's head over to Unite DB, and we're going to go through 3 top builds that I think you're going to be able to do very well with this new patch. Okay, first things first, if you haven't got on board with this website, it's called Unite DB. You just Google Unite space DB. It's database, right? This is hands down the best resource for Pokemon Unite, and it's put together by the Math Cord, and they do such a fantastic job. I don't even know what to say. If you want to improve with Pokemon Unite, you look at what Pokemon you want to play, and you look at their stats, you look at their power spikes, you look at the builds, you learn the Pokemon that you're using, right? The math behind it. So pick number 1 is Venusaur. Now this Pokemon, with these changes, obviously it's going to have to get tested, and the Math Cord are going to have to figure out the exact stat changes here. But if you head on over to stats, you're going to be able to see all of these differences here. Now, with Venusaur, these level 7 stats, they're going to get pumped up, right? They're going to get pumped up big time. Because you can see when it goes to level 9, look at the special attack, goes from 265 to 403, right? That's his, at the moment, it's a little bit too late to hit that big power spike. Now he's probably going to have a big jump from level 6 to level 7. It might go from like 190 to 300, then like 350, then 400, right? So we might see a good change there. Very good. Now with Venusaur, this is the build you want to go with. I personally like this Giga Drain and Solar Beam build. I like to use this exact same build here, right? I go Energy Amp, I go Slick Spoon, and I go Muscle Band, right? With Eject Button, that's absolute build that I would use. Right, so this is a recommended build. Now, what are your power spikes with this Pokemon? Have a look at level 13, you get 25% cooldown reduction instead of 15%. So when you're using Venusaur, you need to be hitting your blue buff and get level 13 with the Solar Beam build, because not only that, when you're using Venusaur, Solar Beam, when you get it to level 13, its cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds, right? So have a look at the cooldown at the moment. The cooldown is currently sitting at 9 seconds. When you get this Pokemon to level 13, it's 5.25 seconds. This is amazing. And it also launches off quicker, right? Normally it launches off in 0.7 seconds, now launches off in 0.6 seconds. And this cooldown is 5 seconds. Imagine when you play the energy amp, you apply your emblems, you apply the blue buff, this Pokemon is launching off beams like just bang, bang, bang late game. So you're going to be able to do amazing things. Venusaur is a Pokemon I'd be investing in. Okay, the next Pokemon, and I'm going to pick a defender here, and it's not a Pokemon that's been touched in this patch. Remember, the most important thing about when there's a patch is think about the Pokemon that didn't get touched. So this sneaky little snake, Inteleon, this Pokemon did not get touched. He is going to rain havoc. We need to be careful against our Inteleon matchup. But this is the Pokemon right here, Umbreon, right? Umbreon did not get touched, is incredibly strong, evolves to level 4, and you've got, in my opinion, Mean Look is hands down probably one of the best skills in the entire game. You can shut down people with poor macro, and your team is able to dive and get that Pokemon that puts himself out of position. So, Umbreon, let's have a look at the stats for this Pokemon. He gets this cooldown reduction at level 9, and that's pretty much it, right? That's his main power spike. You can see his defenses going from level 3 to level 4, and his special defense from level 3 to level 4, so there's a big spike there. Same as his attack, level 3, level 4. Same as his HP, right? It goes up by almost 1,000 at that one particular level. So level 4 early power spike for this Pokemon is incredibly strong. If we go over to the builds, you can go Foul Play Snarl, but you can see on all these builds, it's EXP Share Focus Band, EXP Share Focus Band. Guys, I know you might want to carry in your game, so the best way you can carry is to make sure that your team is getting additional experience, and this is the Pokemon that makes that happen. So make sure you're wearing the experience share, make sure you're wearing the Focus Band. I personally like running an AOS cookie because I want to get as thick as possible, right? As thick as possible, and I run an eject button. This is the build I use, is Mean Look and Snarl. Guys, Umbreon is not to be slept on. Okay, so we've done an attacker, we've done a defender. I think in good fashion, I think a speedster is the Pokemon, and I am going to have to say is Zoroark. Zoroark is the Pokemon, this thing did not get touched, and you have to think about the Pokemon that got nerfed. These are the Pokemon that can do a lot of damage and a lot of displacement to something like Zoroark. Mewtwo X, problem. Zacian, problem, right? These are two Pokemon that have been nerfed, and this Pokemon here, Zoroark, has not been touched. I've just come out with a guide on how to use Zoroark like Overlord. I've done analysis of Overlord's gameplay. I've explained how to use him in the early game. I've explained the importance of that. I've gone over the combos of both moveset. Guys, Zoroark, let's have a look into more detail with this Pokemon. So firstly, let's start off with the stats, right? Zoroark evolves at level 5, and you can see the difference in attack from level 4 to level 5. It goes up quite a bit, right? But the main thing is cooldown reduction from level 8 to level 9 goes up quite a bit, and the crit from level 8 to level 9 goes up quite a bit. So as level 9 is very, very big power spike. You can see the 313 to 346 is a very, very nice power spike for Zoroark. And if we go over to the build, right? If we go over to the build here, this is what we recommend. We've got Bane Attack and Shadow Claw. This is the skill set I recommend. I go double stacking, but I personally would recommend a Razor Claw. However, these, generally 99% of the time, these builds are the way to go, right? I'm not saying Razor Claw is more optimal. I'm saying I like to use a Razor Claw because I'm able to clear my jungle quicker. I like getting my combos off and stuff like that, right? If you're going for Night Slash and Shadow Claw, personally, I'd probably recommend a Muscle Band or a Rapid Fire Scarf because you want to be getting those autos off very, very, very quickly while you're dashing in and out to get the combo off as fast as possible. However, attack weight is an absolute necessity on both of these builds, and we're using a full heal as our battle item, even though I do understand they just got a nerf, right? So this is Zoroark. If you haven't played this Pokemon before, you absolutely must take it into a bot lobby. You must take it into practice mode. You must understand it's not an easy Pokemon. You don't just pick up and do 100k damage. But this is a Pokemon, and I'm going to say this from experience, and there's no pride. I'm not flexing here. I'm saying I've gone on a Smurf so I can, practice some of these Pokemon I don't play as much. And the one Pokemon I used to grind and get up as quickly as I could to Masters was Zoroark. I was able to, it was the only Pokemon I could use. As soon as I bought it, as soon as I was using Zoroark, it was a Pokemon I could carry with the absolute hardest, right? There were games where I'd have one person, two people idling, and I was still able to just wipe the entire team, right? This Pokemon is extremely high skill cap, has an insane amount of damage that can burst out. It's so high mobility. It can do incredible job at the first gank, so your team can get ahead and stay ahead. So Zoroark would absolutely be one of my picks because, again, similar to Umbreon, it is not being touched. Guys, good luck in the current state of the patch, and let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, or if you think there's any points that I've missed, or if there's Pokemon that you like using that I haven't mentioned. Guys, good luck grinding on that solo queue.